Throughout the first part of Attack on Titan's final season, it wasn't exactly clear as to why Eren Yaeger activated the rumbling. But things have changed with this most recent episode. His intentions and reasonings were revealed to everyone, and while sinister in nature, I think there is an important story to tell about how Eren came to the conclusions that he did, as there were so many factors to consider with the choice Eren had to make. So, in this video, my goal is to break down for you why exactly Eren Yaeger activated the rumbling. But before we go any further, this video is brought to you by BetterHelp. Have you been struggling lately? Maybe you're having trouble sleeping, difficulty with a relationship, or just suffering from low self-esteem. Personally, I have dealt with things like anxiety and stress throughout most of my adult and even teenage years. So, if you're just like me, then today's sponsor, BetterHelp, wants to help you. BetterHelp offers licensed therapists who are trained to listen and to help you. Message your therapist in a private, online environment at your convenience, kind of like texting a friend on Discord. Not only do you have such convenience, but as well, there is a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000 plus therapists network that gives you access to help that may not be available in your area. And to make things better, it's actually really simple. You just fill out a questionnaire to help assess your specific needs, and then you get matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. It's as easy as that. Then, after you get matched with a therapist, you schedule a video and/or phone sessions, plus you can exchange unlimited messages, and everything you share is completely confidential. As soon as I was matched with my therapist, Alexander, I felt immediately in a welcoming environment. He seemed very professional, and he helped me deal with some of my anxiety issues almost immediately. And hey, maybe it's not for you. Maybe you didn't have a good experience. Well, you can request a new therapist at no additional charge anytime, which any good therapist will tell you. If a therapist doesn't match with your needs, then get another one. And that is something BetterHelp encourages. So, join the 2 million plus people who have already taken charge of their mental health with an experienced BetterHelp therapist. And I am proud to say that if you are a viewer of this channel, you get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/SeaTactics. That's BetterHelp, betterhelp.com/SeaTactics. So get 10% off your first month at BetterHelp with the first link in the description below. When the Survey Corps arrive in Marley, they enjoy the new experiences around them, though not is all well for the people of Marley. A boy tries to pickpocket Sasha's coin purse, but is caught. The boy is then persecuted by a group of Marleyans who try to decide what's the best course of action for someone that's pickpocketing. Well, these punishments they come up with only seem to escalate as they go from tossing the boy into the sea to staging a public hanging as to set an example that pickpocketing is not allowed in Marley, especially by people who may be followers of Ymir. As the Survey Corps looks on in shock, Levi reads the situation and makes up an excuse that the boy and girl are actually brother and sister, but they fall on deaf ears. Thus, Levi grabs the boy and they make a run for it. Almost immediately off the boat, Eren and the rest of the Survey Corps are shown such a terrifying scene that he's never been witness to. The people of Marley have shown themselves to have a savage mob mentality in how they deal with things like a simple pickpocketer. Should the boy have been punished? Yes, but the punishment should fit the crime. So was this the right punishment? Was it even fair? Well, that's a hard no for me, dog. Then again, another symbol that not all is well in Marley is that the ice cream they share is a symbol of actually discrimination against the Eldians, as Eren, through his father's memories, knows that Eldians rarely get to eat ice cream. Though, things were actually not always like this at one point. Meeting with Kiyomi, they learned that at one point, having the bloodline of Ymir running through your family was actually a symbol of status. But after the fall of Eldia, Marley and the rest of the world started carrying out blood tests quests, which have only gotten more advanced to find those with even a small amount of Eldian heritage to single them out and arrest them. Hearing this from Kiyomi, Eren sneakily slips out, though Mikasa notices and goes after him. There, both Mikasa and Eren observe a group of people who were abandoned by their government finding refuge in a makeshift tent, eating anything they can get their hands on just to survive. While a sad sight indeed, the men and women there make do with what they have, making the absolute best of the situation, chatting, enjoying each other's time. Then you realize why the boy pickpocketed in the first place. The boy was simply helping his family and his community to try and make it another day because their people were abandoned, mistreated, isolated. This reminds Eren of Paradis and his people, isolated from the rest of the world and persecuted for something they didn't do, taking away their freedoms. Then, the next day when they go to see a representative present and discuss how they should take in displaced Eldians, instead, the opposite occurs as Eldians on Marley argue they have shown no history to be supporters of Ymir, so instead they should focus their hate on Paradis Island, where the true devils are. Shockingly, their people have now thrown them under the bus, choosing to save themselves in the short term so that they may temporarily turn their hatred toward those of Paradis. Though, when you consider their options, I can't blame them for throwing Paradis under the bus, as seemingly nobody truly knows what Paradisians are actually like, even though they are amongst them there that day. The truth is that the representatives there know that Marley and the world will eventually turn their hatred towards Eldians in the internment zones, and I can get that. They have no chance at the end of the day because the Eldians around the world have no chance to fight, only to accept their oppressor's fate chosen for them. Only those on Paradis Island really have a fighting chance. So I get the need to throw Paradis under the bus as it's the easiest target at the moment to allow self-preservation in the meantime. That being said, this pushes Eren to slip away and disappear as Eren has now seen he has no choice but to go forward with his plan. Activate the rumbling, destroy the world outside of Paradis. Though, was this the only choice Eren had? Paradis Island never had a chance to prove their worth on the world stage. Instead, they were once again branded as devils out of pure hatred. Eren simply was given no other options than to choose the rumbling, as this was their only realistic resort for fighting. Not only that, but as evident when the Navy's most powerful cannons fire on the rumbling, they were able to eliminate some of those wall titans. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I cannot stress enough how this small, maybe even forgettable scene is actually an integral world-building moment for this episode. Back in episode 1 and 2 of the final season, and mostly through all of part 1, it has been shown and talked about that the anti-Titan weaponry is advancing at such a rapid pace now. We saw how simple cannons that looked to be based off World War II cannons were able to pierce through the armor titan. So what happens when they level up that cannon to the world's strongest weaponry, ship cannons? Well, surprisingly, these cannons are able to eliminate some of the wall titans. Now, what this means is for Paradis is that eventually, titans are going to become redundant in battle, and thus waiting to use the rumbling to buy time for the next 50 years may actually be the worst of outcomes for them. Eren doesn't have time on his side. He doesn't have anything on his side besides to activate the rumbling as a last-ditch, last resort, retaliatory effort. Speaking of last resorts, I want to look at this from Eren's personal perspective. While not an easy choice for anyone to make, Eren chose to activate the rumbling to finally put an end to the very hatred that would cause the loss of his mother and threaten the lives and happiness of his friends and family. This is why Historia and Eren's conversation is so important, because she doesn't want this, and for very good reasons. Historia fights against Eren's decisions of using the rumbling, expressing to him that they've done enough for her and she's already moving forward with consuming Zeke like the MPs would want. Though, this is not enough for Eren. Eren wants to break the cycle of hatred, even if it means burying its history outside of Paradis under the colossal feat of of the Wall Titans. And while Eren's logic is full of holes, as by erasing history, you are bound to repeat the same mistakes, creating a cycle once more, I can see how Eren would choose that perspective. At least in the short term, by flattening the world outside of Paradis, you're getting rid of your external enemies, putting an end to at least those people that once existed and their hatred of Eldians until a new flock of people would rise. Eren's mindset in coming to that conclusion is rather justified in that regard, but is it the right decision? Well, at the very least, it seems Eren does not have the rectitude in his decisions, and for that, we must delve even deeper. The issues in Eren's plan arise when you start thinking about a grander scale and what will happen after the rumbling if he's successful. Can Eren guarantee that his plan will end the cycle of hatred? Realistically, no, I don't think he can guarantee it as much as any side could, as no timeline can exist where everyone just gets along, ending hatred. This is something the series constantly tells us throughout many past seasons. Going back into the series past, when Erwin Smith says something to the effect of humans will continue to fight until there is only one person left. This is the grim reality of humanity, and it's a line that is continually harkened back to even in this season, with Kiyomi telling Flock before he almost fires on the defenseless Azumabito mechanics that by eliminating everyone outside the island, you are just going to be creating conflict on Paradis itself, continuing the cycle. As well, this directly contradicts Eren's original motivations as a character. His goal was to eliminate all the Titans, not the humans. It also contradicts Eren's statements regarding his hatred towards those who trample on others' freedoms. Eren is stomping out the lives of those around the world, just like his mother, who knew not of her crime, but was persecuted for simply being born on Paradis. This is no different from Eren himself and his situation, except now Eren is the one trampling on others who don't know what's about to happen or the crime that they're guilty of. So, just why? Why has Eren really activated the rumbling? We may know he wants to end the cycle of hatred, but does he not realize the flaws in the method of achieving that? I think, though, that at this point, no matter what happens, Eren Yaeger is very much the devil that Marley so dearly wanted to exterminate. And now, the monkey paw has curled. If you enjoyed this video, check out my video breaking down the rumbling, or my other videos on Hunter x Hunter, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and just, other Attack on Titan content. Thanks for watching, and make sure to click on that link. I'll see you guys over there.